Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon, former GOC 15 Corps Air Vice Marshal PK Srivastav. Joining me in the studios here, Sushant Sareen, Senior Fellow at the ORF, Major Gaurav Arya, Editor Chanakya. Joining me in the studios, Abhijit Iyer Mitra, Senior Fellow at IPCS. Also with us here in the studios, Pradeep Bhandari, National Spokesperson of the BJP, and Tehseen Poonawala, Political Analyst, supports the Congress Party, also on the show. My first question, what do you think about this nuclear buzz? And let me really begin with Air Vice Marshal PK Srivastav. Tom Hooper says conservative Indian defense personnel don't want to confirm it, but the fact is that an Egyptian plane seen to be there, a US plane seen to be there, there are reports, there are flight paths, and there is the telltale smoke billowing out of the entrances as it is being speculated. How do you read this?
So, Navika, professionally speaking, we talk about two terms in the Indian Air Force as far as combat is concerned. One is defensive air operations and the offensive air operations. So this was part of the offensive air operations which was carried out. Defensive, you have seen that we have not allowed anything to come to our territory, and the claims which Pakistan has made, they are not true. Even our Prime Minister was there. Coming to the moot point, did we really attack the facility? We did attack Sargodha. There's no doubt about it. And we know that the assets there, the F-16, the version C and D, they are capable of carrying out the nuclear, taking out the nuclear weapons and launch nuclear attacks. So to that extent, I think professionally it makes sense that we were there to neutralize any nuclear threat which may emanate from that base. As far as the Kirana Hill episode is concerned, connecting the dots, there is no professional version and there is no official version of it. We would like that this doesn't take place. So whatever measures were required to be done, it was done. I would shy of saying that yes, these dots connect and say that we really hit the site. But one thing is there in public domain now, and everyone knows, there is a storage facility for warheads, which are the final integration place where you go and connect other parts of the strategic missile and make it operational. And then it goes on to the air platform from where it can be launched. So if cutting the entrance was the goal of the Indian air offensive, which has not come out in the briefings as told by the DG Air Ops, I would not like to hazard a guess here, but I say it was professionally done offensive air operations to cut off any such possibility of Pakistan taking on any nuclear threat or working on it. Well, that's what I like to say.
Abhijit Iyer Mitra, read between the lines, because officially the disciplined soldiers or ex-soldiers are not going to give it to us. What do you think? What are you hearing? Why is there speculation? Is there ever smoke without fire?
So, you know, the main thing out here is we need to understand Kirana Hills is only a few kilometers away from Sargodha Air Base. Now, Sargodha is where all the F-16s are, where the Pakistanis very conveniently built their runways in a crosshair pattern, you know, like you see in those movies, bilkul kill karne ke liye. And we bombed it right at the center of the X, which means both the runways were rendered inoperational. Now understand the import of this. Your F-16s can not take off the ones on the ground, and the ones who are up in the air can't land there again. They have to divert to a secondary base, which will not have, you know, F-16s require a lot of infrastructure and technical staff on the ground, and they need specialized ammunition only for American planes, which can't be provided at those secondary bases at the same level. So that was very significant. Now, what does this base being, this Kirana Hills being so close to Sargodha mean? It means it was clearly a storage for delivery weapons of the F-16 to be launched against India. Now, very clearly, India does not hit. We are not like the Pakistanis who keep breaking commitment after commitment. There is a nuclear non-attack agreement between the two of us where the GPS coordinates and the locations of air bases, of nuclear bases are shared between the two militaries on the 1st of January, and it is sacrosanct. It has never been broken. It has never even threatened to have been broken. We did not attack this on purpose. I say this emphatically, it was not attacked on purpose. However, had this location, geolocation and name not been added to that list, it became a legitimate target because you see all kinds of military activity out there and you feel the need to go after it, right? It must be a support base or something like that. Perfectly legitimate target. If it is a nuclear base, the Pakistanis have lied, which is nothing new. They always keep lying about everything under the sun. And they've used it. They've used it very specifically so that it would get hit when they are getting pummeled. And then they can go around claiming, oh my God, nuclear escalation. And you know how the West reacts to nuclear escalation. They all start crying and, chest thumping and Rudali ye karna and things like that. That's what's happened out here.
Well, let me ask Tiny Dillon. Tiny Dillon, viral videos doing the rounds. There is an interview of Tom Cooper who says he knows it and he says he knows his facts and who says that geotagging has been done and this is the location where it's hit. Number one, the message on the nuke targets. What was a plane full of boron doing there, as reports suggest, and the Western media speculating and some even talking in confirmed terms that it was this that raised the panic levels and why Pakistan went running to the DGMO phone line and started calling India.
Thank you, ma'am, and good evening to you, good evening to the fellow panelists, and good evening to your viewers. First and foremost, as Air Marshal Srivastava says, we will go by the official version. Official version, as DG Air Op said, that we don't know what is there in Kirana Hills. We hit Sargodha Air Base. So that is the official line. And if the precision targeting of the entrances of this particular facility has been done, that is a demonstration of our capabilities. That is only if. The more important point is, within 3 days of air warfare, Pakistan's Air Force was on ground and we could hit 13 of their bases at will. That is the demonstration of the air power, which India could do. And that is when this type of precision attacks happened. That is when Pakistan High Commission at 12:37, as per the open media reports, came running to the Ministry of External Affairs. And that is when this whole thing of cessation of hostilities, understanding and DGMO Pakistan calling apart DGMO, all this thing started. So more important is we demonstrated our military might in air defense, as Air Marshal Srivastava was saying. Nothing could penetrate our air defense. And more so, it is our combination of systems, our legacy systems, our Indian-made systems, Indian joint venture manufactured system, and totally imported systems. All these type of systems, and meshing them together, putting them as an air defense grid, and Pakistan not able to breach anywhere, that is one thing. And second is, we could breach at will when we targeted the terror camp, and we could breach at will when we targeted the air bases on the 10th morning. So within 3 days, this was the plight of Pakistan Air Force and Pakistan military defenses. That is where this whole thing of trying, that share aaya, and the Western media, as my friend Abhijit was saying, Western media is very, very particular and sensitive to this nuclear thing and other things. So that is, and aftermath of this is the 2 aircrafts which you are referring to, and then there are a lot of videos of Pakistani public fleeing that place.
True.
So, but I would still go by the official version, we hit the Sargodha Air Base.
Well, we did hit the Sargodha base, but the fact is, Tom Cooper's interview, I want to ask you, Sushant Sareen. Sushant Sareen, Tom Cooper says the geotagging has been done. I understand why India does not want to confirm it. But the fact here is, 11 air bases, military installations to add, and then, the F-16s, I don't know if they were damaged or just the runway, because we're not hearing any details of that. If it is true that the nuclear storage facility was hit, if the entrance was hit, if these planes with boron have come, also the Noor Khan airbase was hit, and that's where the assembly of these warheads which are nuke based are done. Clearly, India had brought Pakistan to its knees. Why then do we have doubters within our country who continue to raise questions? Arey detail nahi bataya, arey detail nahi bataya.
Yeah, Navika, haters are going to hate. Okay, so I'm not bothered about what the doubters and the haters are going to say. Forget about them. Secondly, I think let's be very clear about one thing. Pakistan came to its knees not necessarily because we hit their nuclear facilities, and I think, and I'll come to the nuke factor, but I think they came to their knees simply because, as the MEA briefing today says, it was by sheer force of Indian arms. It was not out of the milk of human kindness flowing out of the brutal and barbaric Pakistani hearts, which sanctioned killings of innocent people either in Mumbai or Pahalgam or various other parts of India. It was not because of that. It was because they got a hiding, right? And they got a hiding which they never expected. They got a hiding which left them completely exposed. 11 or 12 airfields hit, air defenses destroyed. You name it, it's happened to them. They have no bloody idea what has hit them. Now, let's come down to the nukes. Look, it's a very simple thing. I doubt if this particular site, which everybody is talking about, the Kirana Hill site, has been is in that list which is exchanged with India on the 1st of January of every year. Simply because that list has nuclear facilities of a different nature, which both sides have undertaken not to hit. I have serious doubts that the Pakistanis will give a list to us detailing out where all they've kept their nukes. There's no way they're going to do it. Come on, let's be very clear about it. Where we keep our nukes, we are not going to put that in that list. We'll keep it hidden and we'll make sure that nobody knows about it and nobody can attack that site, right? But we are not going to exchange that in a list. So I have serious doubts whether this particular site, if indeed it is a nuclear weapon site, then this list has been exchanged with us. Even for that matter, Noor Khan Air Base. Even if they are marrying nukes out there, as you are reporting, this would not be in the list which is exchanged with us. Now, what have we demonstrated? We have demonstrated, one, our intelligence. If indeed this is a nuclear site, that we know where you are keeping it and we are hitting you out there. Even the damn Americans were not able to do this, right? So all the stories of Agent Vinod, Phantom and all these other characters, probably there's some truth in it. I don't know, but maybe, right? But I think that you did have some intelligence on these sites. So you've hit them. Now, were you deliberately targeting their sites? Were you signaling? I don't know. The official position is very tongue-in-cheek, as Air Marshal Bharti, laid out. So there's no way I can, I can counter question him, or I can say something, or I can say I know something which he doesn't know. But I think what is important is, and this is, you yourself said this, there cannot be any smoke without fire. Something has, of course, happened. Something has happened that, all this chatter which is coming out, something has happened. Now, my question is, Navika, and this is my final point. The Pakistanis have been proactive, hyperactive in the past, taking their third-rate journalists, most of them paid employees of the ISPR, and probably not better than any sepoys in the ISPR, that's their rank. At best, they rise to the level of Havaldar Major as Najam Sethi and Hamid Mir, those kind of lowlifes. But these are characters who were taken in droves, in buses, to sites which India claimed to have hit. How come 3 days after India is saying we have hit you in these places, there is satellite imagery? None of these so-called intrepid, brave, formidable, fiercely independent journalists of Pakistan have the testicular fortitude to even ask their military officials what exactly has happened. What are the losses we have suffered? Not one of them has bothered to ask. All these chima-timas which come around on Indian TV, have you seen even a single one raise these questions? Not one. Right?
Sushant
They will
Sareen,
keep-
may I confess to you, we can't see them because their handles are blocked here. You know...
I can see them. I
Well-
can see them. Abhijit can see them. All of us. Gaurav, I'm sure can.
So then you're following them, we aren't. But let me, what the people of Pakistan around Kirana Hills are saying, that is very visible. And we can play out that video where people are asking the question, and Major Gaurav Arya, they are saying, you know, we're talking about smoke without fire, to ho nahi sakta. But people there are saying, we've been asked to evacuate that place. It is dangerous. You know, they are saying that there might be some radiation, which is the reason they've been asked to vacate. And again, unverified videos that are viral on social media.
Yes.
Clearly something has happened.
Yeah. So, Navika, what I'm hearing on Pakistani social media is that people have been asked to vacate an area of 100 square kilometers in and around Kirana Hills. And people are assuming that means some sort of nuclear spillage. But before that, there is a news that I'd like to share with our viewers here. And the headlines are that J-10 fighter jet maker Avik Chengdu aircraft share price crashes 9% after PM Modi's address to nation. So, PM Modi addresses the nation, and Avik Chengdu aircraft, which makes the J-10 fighter aircraft, which is also used by China and Pakistan both, the share price crashes 9%. Now, this is incompetence at its worst. So you have the Chinese telling the Pakistanis, for heaven's sake, for the sake of Mao, right? Please stop using our aircraft and our equipment like this. You are certainly professionally not qualified. Now, coming back to the Kirana Hills thing, what has happened is, certainly, you know, you have global experts saying that they know that 2 doors have been, you know, hit. So I agree largely with what Sushant is saying, that A, they will not tell you where they have kept their nukes, right? Even though we exchanged list on the 1st of January every year, that's part 1. And part 2 is obviously that this, if at all the Indian Air Force has done it deliberately, this was a gentle nudge to the Pakistanis that enough of your nuclear bluff. You know, nuclear kar denge, ye kar denge, wo kar denge, isko full stop. We know where you keep them. We can hit them at will, and we will hit them at will, if at all. I'm not saying the Air Force has hit them, but if at all the Air Force has hit them, I think this was a gentle nudge to the, not so gentle. Not so gentle, by the way.
Absolutely.
100 square kilometers is not gentle.
And you saw Air Marshal A.K. Bharti there, when the question was asked, he just gave a very nice smile and came down saying that, oh, this is the nuclear storage facility. We didn't know that. Thank you for informing us. You know, I have not put that on my list. Well, when they say that, and you're saying that the share price of the JF-17's crashes 9%.
Yes.
It's all happening, and why does it happen? Why does it happen? Because today, today is the 4th day when we've seen the Prime Minister come out and make a statement. First 2 days were the defense briefings that set the record straight. Yesterday, Prime Minister's address to the nation. And today, ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister was in Punjab at the air base, which was said to be the air base that had been